Welcome back. Another episode of Walk-Ins Welcome, where we help patient care companies triple their revenue through digital marketing services and exceptional patient experience. I'm Nick Horde. I've got Michael Ray with me, and I'm excited about our topic today.
It's Google related.
It is Google related. We're going to talk a little wheelhouse, a marketing wheelhouse, what we do on a day-by-day basis.
Is it safe to say that we know Google things?
We do know Google. Let me brag on Tal, who does our
that was Google. A cool prop. By the way, we have Slack and we have a prop channel, and Devin did a great prop for Tal, who does our Google ads. Tell us about it.
I mean, it was like the conversion rate. This was for one of our massage therapist companies.
Oh yeah,
and they just opened a new location. It's not even 6 weeks old yet. And they have a 20-something%. It's like 23%, something like that.
The conversion rate?
The conversion rate on their ads. These are people turning into new patients for them, 23%.
Yeah, and you have to, and we'll talk about some of this, but there's a lot of metrics in the world of Google ads. Conversion rate is very subjective because you can make a conversion rate mean a lot of different things. In our world, conversion rate means a very specific action happened, which turned into money.
For that particular thing is they booked an appointment.
Yeah.
Right.
And so at that, obviously, did they show? We have a whole episode about showing for appointments.
Show rates.
Yeah, exactly. But the reality is 20%. And what was the clicks were like 700, 800, 900? I can't remember the number on the clicks themselves. But
I'm not sure I understand. It was like 73 cents.
No, the click. Yeah, no, I'm not total clicks. Not,
okay. I thought you were talking about the cost. I'm like, yeah, man, that's way off.
Anyway, but okay. They probably gained 200 appointments from that campaign.
Easily. Brand new location, 200 new appointments. I mean, here's the deal, and it's exactly what we're talking about today, and that is we want to help you level the Google playing field using ads.
And we'll go and put the preface out here. It's not about the money.
It's not. Yep.
Money matters, but it doesn't in the world of Google because Google wants everybody's money.
Right.
They don't want the big players. They like the big players, but they don't want the big players. They want all the little players.
Yep. Death by 1,000 cuts, right?
Yes.
Well, what we wanted to do is we wanted to put together 3 factors that allow you to play with the big dogs in the patient care space. But before we do those 3 things, I wanted to talk about 2 things so that we can set the groundwork. Okay. Right. So a little foundational information here, and we are talking Google ads. So keep at it from that perspective.
This is like cost per click.
Cost per click, right? Yep. You're running a dedicated ad. All right. So first thing, Google only makes money when someone clicks on their ad.
Period.
That's when they make money. So you can run all the ads in the world, but if you never click on that ad, Google doesn't make any money.
So Google actually places a bet, right, on the sense of if this ad isn't attractive enough to be clicked on, or it's not, when we'll talk about relevancy and all that stuff, they're not making a dime.
Right.
And so there's you probably have even seen like Google shopping ads, and there's we display all your products for free.
Right.
Until they click.
That's right.
So you're not making money until Google makes money.
That's right.
And which is so fascinating because you can kind of skirt around some of that, but the reality is Google hates organic SEO.
Yes.
Oh my word, they hate it, and that's why they never reveal the algorithm behind it. They never reveal anything, and they just change up stuff without telling anybody.
Well, arguably, that's why there's no longer a page 2 of Google, but we can talk about that in another episode.
More ads, just more and more ads.
Well, that's thing number 1. Thing number 2, Google does not prioritize your budget size or your bid size.
No,
it prioritizes
quality,
your quality score.
Yeah, and the preference too. Like I said, budget does have some impact in some degree because you run out of budget at some point. If there's enough demand and you have a good enough ad and they click on it enough, you're going to run out of budget at some point.
Yeah, but that doesn't decide whether or not your ad is going to be effective. So
you're right.
Getting at my point is with this whole episode is there's a lot of American Family Care locations out there. Okay, there are a lot of big, and I like them. I'm not mad at them. That's not the point.
What I'm saying, they're kind of like the Walmart of retail urgent care stuff.
If they have $100,000 a month budget and you have a $1,500 a month budget, your concern is I'm never going to be able to play with them because they have a bigger budget and have a bigger bid. And what I'm doing is the whole Mythbusters today.
Yep.
That's not true. Quality score trumps everything. And today I want to give you the 3 components of the quality score that level the playing field. That's the whole point. We want you to be able to play with the big dogs. Why don't you go ahead and talk about number 1?
So number 1, expected click-through rate.
Yes, this is going to be based on historical data. Michael, this is where they determine on Google over the past 30, 60, 90 days, with respect to the keywords that you selected, how likely is your ad going to be clicked based on that keyword. So it's done by the search volume, historical search volume. It's also done by the keyword difficulty. Some of them are difficult. Go look at, if you can, if you're able to, the cost per click on a personal injury attorney.
In particular, a car accident attorney.
Well, the point making is that's an insanely difficult keyword. Hey, urgent cares out there, there's a reason you can't use COVID in any of your advertising, right? It's got a 99% keyword difficulty. You're not going to rank for it because the CDC owns it.
Yeah, pretty much. And so, and that's something where a lot of this sounds like, oh, I mean, this sounds expensive or it sounds confusing. But we actually have a wall of shame in our office of the big scary competitors and companies where they do have $100,000 budgets and per month, and we were able to outdo their ads.
They did not like that,
and they did not like that, and they sent us a mean little letter,
a nasty gram,
and we've had it happen more than once now. And but the reality, and that's the thing, like. Because we talk to people all the time, like, I can't compete with these guys. Like, why do we run ads? They're just going to eat me for lunch. Well, sure, if you're not going through the right things and building the right ads, sure, they'll eat you for lunch. Because have you seen their ads? They're generic.
Generic and terrible.
They're almost just like, good enough.
That's right.
I got my commission, good enough.
Well, the expected click-through rate is going to be determined by the search volume for the keywords that you've selected, the difficulty of those keywords, and the amount of competition in that space.
Well, and that's the other part too. There are specific keywords that are very, very similar to the more difficult ones that may not have near the difficulty or the cost. And then there's long tail versions of stuff. So there's all sorts of things you can mix into the skirt around the super difficult, impossible keyword that run on Google Ads.
We can help you with that. All right, let's move on to the second one. The first one was expected click-through rate. The second one is ad relevance. Ad relevance. So do people actually want what you're buying? Here's that somebody's listening is going to get mad at me for saying this. Business coaches have zero search volume. Zero.
No, they got a little. I checked it not too long ago. They got a little.
It's gone up. But I've had multiple business coaches ask me if I can help them market their business. And the unfortunate reality is nobody wants what you got.
Or they don't,
you gotta sell it.
Or they don't know what to be looking for.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's something you have to remind yourself with when it comes to Google Ads. There's intentional search going on.
Yep.
It didn't just show up in their search results. Like, they intentionally search for something that you offer. So please don't run ads for things you don't offer.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like, why would I, if you're in urgent care and you run ads around dentistry,
you're going to mess up.
You're just going to waste money.
Well, Nick, why would I do that at all? Well, because Google's going to automatically recommend keywords. And if you're not careful and you're running your own ads, they're going to suck your dollars straight out of your pocket.
AKA U-Haul.
Yeah, exactly. Every moving company in the world has to compete with U-Haul. U-Haul's advertising for free.
Like, just to give a little perspective, because we all know the name U-Haul. They're like the Kleenex of moving.
Right.
And we have some moving companies that we've worked with Nick the marketer, and we spend more time fighting off U-Haul clicks and calls than doing normal stuff. And you say, well, are you doing your job? Like, yeah. Here's the reality. When we do a research on moving or movers near me, it's like a third of the search volume of U-Haul.
Right.
People put U-Haul and moving in the same category in their mind. And so when they type in movers and are you a U-Haul company? No. Well, I clicked on you. I'm like, okay. Like, it's got to make sense. And Google, and what happens is that Google actually is saying, hey, they clicked on it. It worked. Let's put more effort into that. Our algorithm's going to say, that's the ad. Let's rock and roll it, and then get more money. And they don't care. They see Google sees numbers. They don't know what the phone call
and they're making money. Thus the negative keywords.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And negative keywords is a whole different animal because it's like it's a never ending list.
Well, we have the keywords. I want to show up for these, but Google's automatically going to start matching up what it thinks is relevant. And that's where you have to go in and go, that's not relevant. And you add it as a negative keyword. Listen, I know this is some more advanced stuff for our podcast, but we really want to give you the best advantage. And so, you know, if people want what you have to sell, then are they likely to click on your ad over your competitor? How well written is your advertisement?
Yeah, exactly. And if you need, like, if this is conceptually difficult to put in your brain, just think about the last radio ad or TV commercial you've seen. How relevant was it? Did it make sense to the target? Because when somebody buys a radio ad or buys a TV commercial slot, they're going after a very specific target audience.
That's right.
And that message needs to line up. So, like, if I'm buying TV slots at soap opera 11:30 on a Tuesday morning, I better be aiming toward the person that's at home that's probably older. I don't need to be advertising toys and stuff like that.
The difference in that is the bid structure versus the paid, right?
Yep.
So you're bringing up television and radio where that ad's going to show because they bought it.
Yep.
There's no option for that. That means, you know, so-and-so company can buy up all the space and just block you out. Well, that can't happen on Google. And here's why. Remember, Google only makes money when they click on an ad, right? So if someone is more likely to click on your ad over the national brand, then they're more likely to make money off of that. Then they're more likely to show you first at top of page.
Yep.
That's the concept behind it. Now, you may run out of money because of how successful the ad campaign is, and then boom, your competitor steps back in there because they have a bigger budget. But that's where you refine that and make sure that you're putting the right ad with the right message at the right time in front of the right audience.
Yeah, and that's something too. You need to reset your mind about I can't compete with national brands. You have to reset your mind because unless they have a location-specific ad campaign in the location that you're at, your business is at, they don't know who you are. They're going to say, here's the thing. You go into Google Ads, you pick locations, you pick United States because you're a national brand, and you put a budget to it. That's what most of them do. So they'll show up for searches, but of the $100,000 a month they spend for the 50 states that are trying to cover, your city may represent $1 of that ad spend.
Yeah,
like if that. And so you have to keep that in mind. Like, don't be so intimidated. I mean, because we have some tools that shows us some competitive analysis on ad spend, and you know, your Home Depots and stuff are spending $3 to $5 million a month,
and we beat them all the time.
Yeah, it's not that hard. I say it's not that hard. We have very good people in place that make it very easy.
Well, I mean, on the flip side of that, I mean, we have like Massage Envy, which is a national brand, and we smoke them. I'm not mad at Massage Envy. I'm just saying, like, that's a national brand with national budget backed because it's franchise driven, and yet here locally, because we write better ads and put it in front of a targeted audience with the user experience, which is what we're about to talk about. Our ad shows up more than theirs almost always.
Yeah, better, and it has the thing. We have tools that tells us like these are the click through rate stuff. We always beat the click through rates, and we're always cheaper on the click, the cost per click, and it's because like it's so good of an ad. The quality is so, and we're not saying what we do is magic. It's just marketing. Like legit focused marketing.
I have that song. I've got the magic in me going now. All right, we're losing Michael. He's getting his voice.
There was a peanut M&M.
Is that what it was?
Residual.
All right, last one, Michael. User experience. You're kind of awesome at this. Why don't you go through some of this and tell us all about user experience and how that's relevant?
Does your ad use proper extensions? Now this is about to be geeky for a moment.
I love it though.
Click to call, location extension, service extensions, image extensions. Now you're like, I don't know what any of that means.
That's
You do because you've interacted with it. So think of a Google ad. So let's start there. So a Google ad is just like a listing on Google, right? Just a little search snippet where you have the bluish headline that's clickable and the little subtext underneath. All right. That's pretty traditional. Well, when you see a Google ad and it has an image attached to it, or it has multiple links underneath it, or it has a call, like an actual number to call, you can click to call it. Those are all the extensions kicking into place. And Google loves when you use their extensions.
Right.
They love it. They love that, and they love when you can connect all the conversion to it, because in their eyes, you're maximizing their system and you know what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it sounds, and it's not what you call difficult, but it's very strategic, because if you line up these extensions wrong, like if you put an image,
It'll break it.
that, and it'll just confuse the mess out of people.
Right. And we don't want to confuse them. The whole point is to make it a fluid experience. And the reason Google likes these click-to-calls, location extensions, service extensions is because it keeps you on Google instead of taking you off of Google.
Yeah, like Google hates, they want you to click Google but stay within Google.
Yep.
Because they make more money for themselves.
That's right.
There's a reason why Google Business Profile is so important from our SEO standpoint, because Google doesn't want you to leave that thing at all. And that's SEO. But yeah, I mean, and the reality is, so part of the user experience is when that person engages with your ad, are they going to get what they expect they're going to get? Mm-hmm. Please don't send people to your homepage. Send them to a landing page.
That's right.
What's a landing page? It's basically a 1-page or 2 or 3-page website with specific language and imagery for those ads
to match what you're trying to offer.
Like if I click on, like I've had this happen quite a bit too, and this is like Google Shopping and everything. I click on a product I want. So we'll say a watch. I click on that watch, and I can visually see what the watch is. Like I know this is the right watch. I'm not a watch person. I'm using a watch. Visually, that's the watch I'm looking for to buy. I click on it, takes me to the site, to a product page that has nothing to do with that watch. I'm done. Like,
or the homepage.
Or the homepage.
And now I got to go dig out what I was already looking for on Google.
And then I at that point, I hit the back button and I look at something else. And it happens. Or I hate when you click on something and it says sold out. I'm like, why is it there?
Yeah.
Like sold out. And then I was like, oh, maybe I can get, nope, sold out. Or, oh, we don't actually have that product.
I hate it when I go to buy plane tickets and they increase the price mid checkout.
Literally happened an hour ago.
Yeah, sorry. That's a whole different story. But
or when you sit there like, is this the one I want? And you hit refresh. Sorry, it's gone. Like, no, it's not.
Well, one of the important things is if you have to leave Google, then we need to go to a dedicated landing page, and it needs to be mobile first. And it needs to load like rocket fuel fast.
It needs to be almost instant. There doesn't need to be delayed. Don't crowd that page. I hate when I get to a landing page that has so many items on top of the actual one I'm trying to get to, where I'm trying to scroll and it felt like my screen just shrunk.
Right.
So keep that in mind, like mobile first. Like keep your phone in mind. If you're running your own ads, please look at the landing pages on your phone first, because that's how they're coming in. Very rarely they're coming in off a laptop or desktop.
That's right.
It just doesn't happen.
So once you bounce off of that page, Google's going to know it, assuming that you put Google Analytics 4 on your website or your landing page. Mm-hmm. And what that's going to allow is for data to be fed back to Google to show the effectiveness of your landing page. And if it's effective, for example, you showed up in a keyword search, then they clicked on your ad that was relevant to that keyword search, then it took it to a mobile-first, high-converting landing page that in turn converted, like they called you or they filled out an appointment. That conversion, all of that data goes all the way back to the initial search. And then Google goes, oh,
perfect.
That was a good experience for the person doing that search. Let's keep showing them that ad.
Let's see if it happens again.
Yes.
Let's see if it happens again.
And then they make money. And then they make money. And then 8 states band together to sue them for a monopoly. And they make more money.
Yeah.
Right. But that's the whole point, y'all. This is the whole process. The expected click-through rate. That historical data that's going to let you know if it's relevant to even put anything out there. And then ad relevance. Am I talking to the right person at the right time in the right way? Mm-hmm. And then am I creating a positive user experience that's designed to convert into new business that in turn turns clicks into new patients and customers?
And if you asked how, the phrase that gives her twitches, it's conversion tracking.
Yes. It's not easy to set up, I'll be honest with you.
It's not easy to set up, and it just breaks for the heck of it. Yep. But and it's so funny because I remember when Tao's first coming on, she's like, this conversion tracking stuff is just something else. And we were like, yeah, it's important, but don't hurt yourself over it. Like it'll be fine. And then what we've seen, like now she's kind of like got a system for it. Mm. And when we were talking about earlier with the conversion stuff, some of the best campaigns we've seen. And I'm going to say, like, probably because she's so adamant on the conversion tracking.
Right.
Some of our previous people were just like, it's there. They didn't check it. It's there.
I mean, it's good data in, good data out.
Yeah, and then from Google's standpoint, it saw the whole picture.
Yeah.
it's like, oh, this all worked. Let's do it again. And just keep, oh, you ran out of budget. Time to increase the budget now. But, and that's something too, where we have client, like, we'll come to them and say, hey, you're running out of, our ads are doing well, but you're running out of budget.
Yeah.
Where they, and it's not because of competition, it's because the leads are like clicking and going and clicking and going, clicking and going, and then boom, you ran out of money. And so this is the time to increase. And we tell people when it comes to increasing budgets, it's not like, whatever you put in, it'll double. Like if you double your budget, it'll double your leads. No. Sometimes you double it and it triples your leads.
Right.
Sometimes you double it and it only increases by like 20%. Like there's a threshold. We have one client right now where he's like, I want to double until I'm broke. Like, no.
There's diminishing returns.
Like there's a moment. So let's do this. We're going to do increments every couple of weeks. And when we see it go down, we'll take one step back and see what happens.
You're never going to get 100% of the search. Let me go ahead and bust that myth right now. You're just not. It's not fair. It's not leveling the playing field, and Google wants to be fair.
Unless you are the only business, period, that offers that service.
That may be the case, but oftentimes, like when you say only, like the only one in the world, because they'll pull it from different markets just to get the clicks. Relevance,
like,
right?
And we even have an urgent care right now. Like there's another urgent care named basically the same thing in a city that's named the same in a different state. And so, like, occasionally it'll pop up in the search, and you're like, "What in the world?"
Well, it's like marketing agency Birmingham. We get more UK. Searches.
Yeah, we do.
All right, I'm going to go straight shameless for a second because I genuinely care about the success of your patient care business. I mean that. If you own a chiropractor business, if you own a massage,
if you see patients,
if you see patients at your urgent care or your primary care, I want to put this book in your hands. It's called Walk-Ins Welcome, and it is the definitive guide on tripling your revenue through digital marketing services. Look, this is our playbook. This is what we do for our clients. There's two ways to look at it. If you're never going to hire us or another marketing company, let us help you.
Yeah, the book
will help you.
The book will give you, it's a guideline.
It is. I mean, it's what we're going to do for you. The reason people hire us is because they're better at being a medical professional than they are a marketer, and they don't want to do this themselves. But there's a lot of people listening to our audience that are in startup mode.
Yep.
This is a great resource for you. It's 99 cents. 99 cents. And the reason I did that, I'm going to tell a quick story. When I was in high school, there was a free school paper. Okay.
Nobody wanted it.
Nobody wanted it. They would thrash it, man. They would tear it up, throw it up. You'd find it all over the school. It was trash. The next year, my sophomore year, they started charging $1 for it. Everybody bought it. They sold out all the time, and everybody read it.
And it was the same thing.
It's $1. I'd give it to you, but if I make you pay $1 for it, I know that you'll put it into practice because you have at least a little skin in the game. So there's a QR code right there that'll take you to a landing page that'll take you to the book. And it's no joke. It's 99 cents for the digital copy. If you want a hard one, reach out to us. Hello at patientcaremarketingpros.com. Wow, that was an old URL, Michael. Take us out, bro.
All right, guys. Well, thank y'all again for listening in on this. And just a kind of reminder, this is a Google Ads specific episode.
That's right.
But the reality is, this is why you can win in Google Ads. It's not the big boys always win. It's the little guys can actually outpace the big boys pretty often.
That's right.
And we go through it, talk about quality and all those things. So thank you all again for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.